I presume there's a bunch of theory and best practice around what should be a left click and a right click. I mean, it's mostly norms in terms of how the game actually functions. Generally, for example, RTSs, you would expect movement to be a right click function while selections would be a left click. That's just kind of established through other games, but it's not always necessarily true. And of course, games can deviate from the norms, but then the control tends to get criticized in reviews and the like, even if it is superior for what they're trying to do, just because of muscle memory. Maybe when they're present in the system, the fleet automatically applies piracy suppression. If you patrol around, they'll be suppressing it when they arrive. But he hasn't moved. Oh, there he goes. Okay, so remember, piracy takes a while to build up. So what the patrolling does is it kicks the piracy from whatever it built up to back down to 0, and then it starts ticking up again. So the more actively you're patrolling an area and the smaller area you are patrolling, the more effective your piracy suppression will be. So it could be worth having two smaller fleets kind of going next to each other, or even just patrolling smaller parts of your total network in order to get that piracy suppression up more. Okay, that's actually kind of clever, I like it. 2 corvettes would do it, yeah, probably. There's no fleet limit, is there? I mean, there's a fleet size limit, but no actual fleet limit. Have I ever played StarCraft? I know it's not grand strategy. Yes, I used to actually be really into my RTSs. And if this wasn't the Christmas period, I just got Age of Empires 2 HD, and I really want to play some of that because it's such a good game, and I just fancy playing it. But my schedule is so full with new games that I just can't at the moment. But yeah, Age of Empires 2 I'd like to revisit at some point in the future. The Warcraft 3 remake I will absolutely be covering when that releases, because I have a huge soft spot for Blizzard games. Warcraft 2 is the game that got me into gaming. Like I said, that Ultima 4 was my introduction to gaming, that's true, but the game that really made me a gamer, Warcraft 2. So if they ever make a remake of Warcraft 2, then that will just dominate this channel in ridiculous ways. It will make my coverage of Europa Universalis feel amateurish. I used to be fairly good at it, but I'm pretty sure my reactions have slowed down a fair bit, so it's not as good as anymore. And yeah, I used to play Command & Conquer, Red Alert. I played a bit of StarCraft. StarCraft was probably my least favourite. I much preferred Warcraft. My Game of Crazy Game was Civ 4. Civ 4 was good too. I mean, my Game of Crazy Game would have been Civ 1. Well, except for Warcraft. I mean, I played a lot of Civ 1. Back in the day when a phalanx could beat a battleship. Oh, the memories. Didn't happen very often, but it did happen. The Golden Spectre, thank you very much for the follow. Welcome to the channel. I'm being completely distracted here. Can I show you the Empire overview? Do you mean this thing? I don't know what you want. I will help you when I know what you want. So we are playing as MordCorp. We are a corporation. Go away. Which means that we have higher admin cap and lower empire size penalty. The civics we've chosen are trading posts, which is why I have so many star bases and capacity for even more. And we are free traders, which increases the trade value of all the trade that we are catching, which is why I need to understand how the suppression mechanics work. And our branch offices are also worth more. We don't have any branch offices yet, because we've not actually met anyone else except for the Marauders, and you cannot trade with them. The governing ethics that we have are Fanatic Xenophile, which increases trade value even further, so that's another 20%. Hence we're making so much money just off of internal trade, let alone external. And we have lower diplomatic influence upkeep, but again, that's going to depend on who our neighbours are, because that does not affect Marauders. And we are pacifists, which increases the administrative cap, which means we can have a larger empire, and we are also more stable, though I don't really know what stability does. I think that's an effect here. Stability, here it is. Increases pop approval rating. Yeah, it does, because my base is 50, would get plus 10 from being pacifist and empire capital, then plus 13, which does bring it up to 73. Results are effects from having a high stability, resources from jobs, plus 13%. So all of my workers are more efficient. Trade value goes up even more. And we have immigration pull, so if we have migration treaties with other people, we're more likely to be bringing their people in. So stability is actually super strong. Stability is a measure of the overall political stability of the planet. It's primarily determined by the overall pop approval rating of the population. So the higher your happiness, the more stability you have, I think. And the happier your factions are, the more stable you're going to be. So this is one place where having ethic deviation could be a bad thing. Or is another way that ethics deviation is a bad thing. Stability can be reduced by conditions such as overcrowding, so lack of housing, we have tons of houses, low amenities, and crime. We have a lot of amenities right now thanks to the city districts, and also the fact that we just have a very low population right now, because we keep exporting them, and we have no crime. And crime can be reduced by enforcers, which we have access to, but I don't know, we do have crime. We have 17 crime, but it's being reduced by my one enforcer, which is employed by the Planetary Administration. What's the empire in the west? There is no empire in the west. Oh, there is an empire in the west. Oh, it's the caravan. Sorry. It's the traders. Purchase caravan coins, open a reliquary, and play the slots. Sapiens with psychological profiles particularly vulnerable to addictive activities are advised to stay away from the slots and reliquaries. If they had fun, that is. Yeah, I'm not wasting money on that. So I always thought that the caravanserai was just when they appeared in your territories, but no, they actually have a casino. There is a galactic market. And it is right here. You can buy and sell resources. This opens up a lot more once you've discovered other nations, but you can like buy and sell from your citizens just at much lower levels. And you can also set up automatic trade routes, which I have not done yet because I've not needed them. And yes, this is definitely a trading run. I did the crime run and it just didn't work very well. Was that everything you wanted to see, Johnny 5? Can you trade as a Gestalt consciousness? No, so I think Fallen Empires can't trade. I don't know for sure, I haven't tried it. Gestalt cannot trade. Hive Minds cannot trade. Fellow Conglomerates cannot trade. And Marauders cannot trade. So it's basically just the generic other factions, the regular empires that can trade. I wish they had a grand strategy StarCraft to buy that so quickly. The nearest to that would probably be Dawn of War, because you could have like an overarching map, especially if you're playing. Dawn of War doesn't exist. It's a terrible game. It shouldn't exist. Oh, what's it called? Dawn of War 2 had this to a lesser extent. Dawn of War Dark Crusade had a good one. What does your empire do once the trade goods get back to the homeworld? So, there are different ways that you can process those trade goods, and those are determined by policies. For the moment, we are currently doing wealth creation, so every point of trade value is converted into 1 point of energy credits. But you can also do consumer benefits and marketplace of ideas. Consumer benefits means for every point of trade value, you get half a credit and also 0.25 or a quarter consumer goods. So it's a good way of reducing the number of consumer goods that you need to produce, basically by doing consumer benefits. But it will have a pretty hefty hit on the amount of energy you produce. And then there's also the marketplace of ideas, which is still half a credit of money per trade value, but you also get some unity, although it seems like a very, very small amount of unity. So I'm tempted to go consumer benefits, but as trade sits right now, I earn 70 energy credits in terms of trade. So if I go, instead of the 1-to-1 exchange, to a half-to-1 exchange, then that will go down to, what, 35, which will be quite a big deficit. So I need to build up my energy production in other areas, and then I could do that. Or just produce more trade, which is basically what I'm going for here. Leave it for now. Have you finished doing this stuff yet? No, you're still working. And please tell me that anomaly is... Damn it. It's a level 8 anomaly. Okay, so I'm not going to be able to get this planet for a really long time. You're almost a level 4. I think I need to wait until you're a level 5 and then we can go for Pythara. Which actually means that maybe I shouldn't be going for that straight away. Nah, sod it, you can still go for it. And I think that you... Once you hit level 4, we'll send you to Pythara. Tech. Planet build speed is increased. Excellent. So we can get more minerals from people producing minerals. Minerals aren't really my problem right now. Afterburners would be nice, especially on the Corvette fleet. And all of the colonies have been built, so I need to get back to transferring populations. You are now up to a population of 8. You have 13 jobs, so we can transfer another 2 people to you. Are those worker jobs? No, those are clerks. We can send you clerks. I'm pretty sure I have some clerks spare. Specialist. Researchers. Artisans. Well, specialists are specialists, so it doesn't really matter who they are. We have a surplus of alloys right now, so I'm going to send you some of the metallurgists to Jessica Prime. 1, 2.
Building downsized.
Downsized? Oh, because we dropped below 30 population.
Outlier identified.
Okay, that's fine. Jessica Prime is now at 10 population. You are still considered a colony for some reason. Though you can upgrade this. I bet that goes away once we have this. So let's go ahead and build that and see what happens. You have 2 unemployment, but that's just because the specialists have not filled in yet. We have the commercial zones. Wait, are clerks workers? Oh, clerks are workers. Whoops. I assumed that those were specialists. Okay. Noted. They should demote. Well, actually, what I could do is just send them straight back again. And then send 2 from here. So we're going to do that. This is going to be inefficient. But more inefficient than just letting them demote. I don't know how long that takes. Is the problem. Clerk. We do in fact have 2. So we're going to send you 2 clerks. And then Jessica, you're going to send back the 2 metallurgists. Oh, could have done it from here. Done. Now everyone's happy. And Aracor is level 4, so you are going to go over here to work on the anomalies, that one in particular. And then you can go and do that one. Go. Why do you have employment? Oh, don't tell me 2 people promoted to fill. Yeah, they did. Okay, so apparently promotion, demotion, or promotion doesn't take very long. Demotion does. And they're just going to be clerks. So it's the clerks that were unemployed got promoted when this building turned off. Bugger! Okay, so now we also need to spend some time looking at this. Ross Prime is going to be a huge energy producer. That's a lot of generator districts. That's also quite a lot of agriculture and a fair amount of industry. Ross Prime is just generally going to be a very good world. The Max Prime is very balanced. And there's absolutely no correlation between districts and how many cities you can have. Because here the maximum's 8, population size 14. Mike Prime, smaller planet but less cities. I think the plus districts is just city districts. I don't think it applies to these. Oh, and also, don't even. Wait, I do have a governor there. Oh, you can have one governor governing multiple places. You can. Why are you able to do both Jessica and Kelderland? See, that's a reassign. So how on earth are you doing both? Unless that's a sector? It's a sector. How do sectors work now? That's one thing I haven't looked at. Didn't think I needed to. Planets and sectors. 2 colonies in the sector. Sector settings work the same way. You can transfer resources. Core sector, frontier sector. What determines that? Tile blockers reduce the amount of districts you can build. Yes. That still doesn't have any effect on the size. Or the number of city districts. Because I think Jessica... Hang on, actually you might be true. Hang on. Jessica Prime has Impossible Mountains. That's going to reduce the city districts. I think it just says districts. Max districts reduced by 2. It doesn't say what type of district. Unlike this, which says specifically Boggy Fens district blocked. Well, Ross Prime, and this is the first time I'm getting to see this, has 1, 2... It has 4 districts reduced. You're a bigger planet. This is actually the comparison I should be using. You have none reduced. Okay, so there is some kind of correlation. Okay, cool. Still not sure what it is, but there is one kind. Planets are now put into duchies like CK2. Sectors are created automatically. Aren't sectors now automatic when they are on different clusters? Different clusters. How do you determine a cluster? Core sector equals the capital sector. I guessed that. They have to be connected or something? Like, is Hythara going to be part of Caldelant? Is it going to be part of Ross? That seems completely arbitrary. The number under city districts is the total possible districts. The 3 specialized types have a second cap specific to them. They contribute to the overall number of districts too. No, they don't. We determined that previously. Like, the planet size here is 19. We have currently got 3, 6, 7 districts used, so that should be technically 13, but the district limit here is 12. Like, there isn't actually... I've not worked out what the correlation there is. It still completely baffles me. And even in terms of, like, possible undeveloped districts, this is unrelated to anything else, as far as I can tell. Yeah, these are just pure city districts. They are its own type of district, which is lots of housing. Big numbers are good. Yeah, that is generally true. Is 75 jobs per planet even doable? Yes, very. Sorry, I'm just catching up on chat. You guys have said quite a lot. Hey, Marshall, how you doing? Sending pops prevents the opening of new building slots, though. Yes, that's true. Machines still build their pops. They stop when the planet is full enough or when all the jobs. So, robots, you don't manually build robots anymore. That's all done automatically. And basically what will happen is when you build, for example, a factory, that factory will produce robots until that factory's jobs capacity is fulfilled. And the speed at which that they build these robots is determined by your robot build speed. So all of that is automatic. It's just the same as growth, but I think it might happen on a per building level rather than a one per world level. I don't know that. I haven't actually played as a machine yet. But I know it's done automatically. I know it's no longer manual. Unless there's actually a robot production building. Which there might be. Tooltip over the unemployed pop should tell you how long it takes to demote. Ah! Wow, long time. 1,600 days. It's like 5 years. And you have an unemployed worker. Yeah, I haven't done anything with these two worlds yet, and I know I need to. And you just have 2 specialists. Who are doing what? Oh, I see. The 2 specialists from the reassembled ship shelter produce a little bit of food and a little bit of amenities to then support the other colonists. Okay, gotcha. So, Gelderland. You have specialists which we could send. That would be irrelevant because we have no buildings to actually populate that. And you have an unemployed worker, so you do need to build something. I might actually have you doing some generator districts. I think I'm going to have you focusing on that. I'm going to need a couple more minerals. That can be arranged. I really wish I could send these 2 specialists somewhere. I really screwed up with that transfer. Although you actually have another building slot because you've hit 10 pop. So I could theoretically build research labs here which do require specialists.
Market outlier identified.
Question is, do I want anything more particular for this world? I don't think so. Having some researchers would actually be super helpful. So I think what I'm going to do... Now that I know how long it takes to demote, I'm going to build the research labs first. I'm going to stop anyone promoting to this.
Complete.
Build that. Population. Specialists. Oh, you can't preset not hiring. That's fine. You. Population. Resettle. Unemployed specialists to Jessica Prime. Go. Jessica Prime has a shortage of housing. Do research labs provide housing? No, just jobs. So we're also going to need another city here. Alright, we're getting there. We're getting there. Sectors don't siphon off resources anymore. It's just flavor. You have a max cap that is 19, some of them are blocked right now, but after all are cleared, your additive number of housing plus food plus minerals plus energy can only go to 9. I don't think that's true. Again, we can run a test. When I build the energy place in Ross Prime, we'll see if that number goes down, but that number does not equal that number because there are 13 city districts and a 20 size. There's no correlation between that, and that's with no districts built. If you only build housing districts, you can build as many as the planet is big. Well, we just disproved that right there. Your energy is low. No, it's not. That's 1.9k, not 1.9. Is that 50% growth penalty gone? That's a good question. I don't know. Yes. So, as soon as you build the planetary administration, it stops being a planet and becomes an agri-world. Here we go. Farmer output plus 5%, which is exactly what I was hoping would happen. Fantastic. And also we can get another tradition, which I do need to do. So I can get another 20 admin cap, which we're 11 points away from. Or I can reduce the starbase upkeep. Starbases aren't actually hugely expensive for me right now, so we're going to go with the admin cap. Blockers are still there. Where was that? That was Ross. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7 blockers plus 13 does equal 20. Okay. But I think that these ones that just says max districts -2. Yeah, okay, so the easiest way to see is if we build a district here, if it reduces the number of city districts we can have. That would be the closest way to see. And yes, there are 3 blocked things there, alright.
Research actualized.
Alright, tech. Research done. Yay! Finally! Research station output. We don't seem to be able to build those. Shipyard, anchorage. None of these provide technology. Neither does the building. So that technology seems to be a little out of position. That might just be a bug, I'm not sure. Oh! No, I'm an idiot. I know what those are. Those are these things. Like we have here. So that increases their output by 10%. Wow, that's not going to be hard to track at all. Research station. Then yeah, I do kind of want those. How much tech am I getting? You don't get the breakdown anymore. Is this worth doing? Probably. It's more technology. Get it. I have quite a few of those.
A system has been surveyed.
And construction ship is not doing anything. You could actually build that research... No. I kind of want to save the minerals. But it's research. And I'm really behind in that type of research. Nope, build it. Research comes first. Yeah, planet features determine the resource district, so I will show you how that works. So, for example, clicking on here we can see all the features. We have a bubbling swamp, which provides 1 additional gas extraction well. Oh, that's the strategic resource. It's got hot springs, which is +1 max generator districts. It's also got 2 sets of rushing waterfalls. Each of them provides 2 generators. That's +4 in total. Then it also has 2 tempestuous mountains, which generate another 3 energy each, which is 6. So 1, 5, 11, 9, 10, 11 districts for power generation. Whether if you build one of these districts, if it reduces the number of overall districts you can get, I don't know. Because I'm still not convinced that this is overall. I think that's just city districts, which will determine your maximum population in terms of housing. Plus districts also provide housing, just less of it. We'll see. We'll see.
Upscaling complete.
That's one thing which I'm not entirely comfortable with yet. And my consumer goods has just gone way down. Because I just built a research facility which consumes consumer goods. That's fine. We have a surplus. We can flip the money if I need to, the tech policy. And in fact, if we have a generator world, then that should offset some of the money. If you select the planet next to your population,